Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a threat at a local middle school sparks a fast response from authorities. Find out what happened. Plus this morning, a beloved local fire chief passed away. What the community is saying about him. And this Memorial Day, find out how you can join a tribute to our fallen heroes and make a difference in their honor.
Well, the weekend is here and it's the holiday weekend, so you're going to be out, I'm sure, out and about. We're looking for increasing chance for shower activity, but other than that, it's going to be hot and rather steamy. We'll have all those details coming up in a moment.
Plus, a young couple's lives cut short in an attack outside the Israeli embassy. See what's next in the investigation. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shawna Currie. A reported threat at a local middle school leads to the arrest of a 12-year-old student. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman is live at Patty Welder Middle School with the details. Amaya?
Morning, a resource officer at Patty Welder's Middle School responded to a verbal threat that was made by a student. Now, according to Victoria County Sheriff's Office, a preliminary investigation revealed that a 12-year-old female student allegedly threatened to burn down the school. Authorities acted swiftly, taking the student into custody. She has been charged with terroristic threats and was transported to the Juvenile Detention Center. In a statement, the Sheriff's Office emphasized that they take all threats to school safety very seriously and remain committed to working closely with local school officials to maintain a safe environment for students and staff. We just spoke to a Victoria County Sheriff's Office and they just informed us that the student had no weapons on them and that nobody was harmed. Reporting live from Patty Dawson Middle School, Amaya Norman, 25 News Now.
A great loss this morning for the Ganado community with the passing of Ganado Fire Chief Bernard Scott. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley visited the high school that he attended and the department that he worked in to get an update. Ray, what's new?
Yes, Shawna, Fire Chief Bernard Scott passed away this morning at the age of 51. Scott served as a firefighter and an emergency medical technician since 2003. In his honor, flags in Ganado will be flown at half staff until his services. In the Facebook post, the city of Ganado wrote, "Thank you for your service and dedication to our community. Rest easy and job well done." Other local fire departments shared condolences, saying Scott was a dedicated, compassionate man who loved serving his community. His cause of his death is unknown. The family is asking for privacy and are not wanting to speak at this time. Shawna?
All right, thank you, Ray. Well, some rain in the forecast, but will it ruin any outdoor weekend plans? Well, we know one person who has that answer. Let's go to Mac Perez for a first look at the forecast. And Mac, I know we need the rain, but a lot of people have plans to be out and about with it being a holiday weekend.
Yes, and my theory is the following. You're going to get wet one way or the other. Either you're going to perspire and have fun. Someone's going to spill a drink on you, or you get a little rain shower, and the rain shower will last maybe 20 minutes. So all I want you to know is that it's a possibility over the weekend. I don't think it's enough to mess up your holiday. Here, as you can see, we've got that marginal chance of just a few little afternoon showers. We'll be taking a much closer look because next week is very interesting. We could have several days of afternoon rain. So we'll have all that coming up in just a moment. Shawna, back to you.
Well, they gave everything for our freedom, and now it's our turn to give a little back. This Memorial Day, Monday, May 26th, the community is invited to honor our fallen heroes at the Warriors Weekend Field of Honor. The ceremony will include a roll call of the fallen, a flag retirement ceremony, and moments of honor and remembrance. Volunteers are also needed for setup, cleanup, and supporting the memorial ceremony. It starts Monday night at 7 o'clock at the Field of Honor next to Parkway Church. This brings us to our viewer poll today. How do you usually honor Memorial Day? Do you attend a ceremony, visit a memorial or cemetery, spend time with family, volunteer or donate, or other? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And right now, 85% of you say other. Be interested in hearing what some of those other ways of honoring the holiday how you observe the holiday in addition to the other options. So continue voting. We'll have a look at the latest numbers on 25 News Now at 6. This Sunday marks 5 years since the death of George Floyd. He was the black man killed by a white Minneapolis police officer who knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes. A bystander's video of the death led to nationwide protests against police brutality and calls for reform. Police officer Derek Chauvin was fired and charged with the crime. A state jury ultimately convicted him of murder, and he pleaded guilty to federal civil rights violations, leading to a sentence of decades in prison. Recently, some on the political right have called for a pardon. However, President Donald Trump said in March that he was not considering it. Now to the deadly shooting outside the Jewish Capitol Museum in Washington. The suspect now charged with murder, the FBI calling it a targeted anti-Semitic attack. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, the suspect accused of fatally shooting 2 staff members of the Israeli embassy in Washington charged with murder.
Responsible for an active shooter, 3rd Street.
They said they got 2 cases of second and mass.
Police identified the victims as Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram, a young couple planning to get engaged on an upcoming trip to Jerusalem. Authorities say the couple were leaving the Capitol Jewish Museum when the suspect approached a group and opened fire. The gunman reportedly shot the couple from behind and continued to fire even after they collapsed. Moments later, the suspect went into the museum. Witnesses say he allegedly tried to blend in with other victims.
I was worried for him, thinking, he might have experienced something.
I was trying to comfort him, and my friend offers him some water. He reaches into his backpack and pulls out a keffiyeh and says, "I did it. I did this for Gaza, free Palestine."
The man now in custody is identified as 31-year-old Elias Rodriguez, seen here after he was detained, yelling what the FBI believe could be his motive.
Free Palestine! Anti-Semitism will not be tolerated, especially in the nation's capital. Now, we're going to continue to investigate this as a hate crime and a crime of terrorism.
Meanwhile, reaction has gone from the United Nations to outside the White House, where friends are remembering the couple whose lives were cut short. The suspect faces a list of federal charges, including the murder of foreign officials. He did not enter a plea during his first court appearance yesterday. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
A record number of Americans applied for British citizenship between January and March, lining up with the start of Donald Trump's second term. The UK Home Office reports more than 1,900 applications, the most since records began in 2004. Officials also noted a similar surge after Trump's re-election last fall and during his first term in 2020. The increase comes as some European countries make citizenship harder to get. Britain is now raising requirements for migrants and extending the wait to apply for citizenship. And this week, Italy closed a popular path to citizenship through great-grandparents, a move expected to impact thousands of Americans. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. A warning for allergy sufferers: why stopping your medication could cause unexpected side effects. That's straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. Plus, drowning is quick and silent. The life-saving information every parent needs before summer swim season. From the Food and Drug Administration, stopping allergy medications could cause a severe reaction. The agency says people have reported experiencing severe itching after they have stopped taking medications like Zyrtec or Xyzal. The side effect seems to happen to those who quit after long-term use. The FDA is asking manufacturers of the over-the-counter versions to add the new side effect warning to their packaging. A Texas House committee today passed a comprehensive crackdown on abortion pills that also contains a controversial provision saying it cannot be challenged in state court before it is enforced. The bill goes now to the House for a full vote. To read the full Texas Tribune article, visit crossroadstoday.com. If you're heading to the pool, lake, or a beach this holiday weekend, experts say have fun, but stay safe. Every year, more than 4,000 people in the U.S. die from accidental drownings, but they're preventable. In today's Health Minute, a doctor breaks down the ABCs of water safety to help keep your kids safe all summer long.
It can happen in seconds. Drowning is often silent, and many times it's children who are the victims.
The most common drowning is in the kids age 1 to 4. They slip into the water and go under, and that's it.
Dr. Donald Plumley with Orlando Health says the ABCs of water safety starts with A for adult supervision. When children are in the water, an adult should be paying full attention. Avoid distractions from people or phones. You may also consider designating a water watcher.
Almost like a designated driver. You want a designated watcher watching your kids. Take turns doing it. It gets tiring, but someone needs to know that's their full-time job.
B is for barriers. Plumley says there should be a fence around pools, especially when you're on vacation or renting a home you're not used to. He says to make sure there are safety features in place before you go. Finally, C is for classes. Both the parent and the child should be in swim classes. Plumley says to start as young as a few months old and make sure children are up to date every swim season.
Even though they took them last summer, it's good to do it again this summer, get a refresher course going. And then for the parents to learn CPR, should the tragedy ever occur or be around a tragedy, you're there to help. And start care right away will make a huge difference.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Plumley says children with special needs have a significantly higher risk of drowning. So he says to be aware and have a water safety plan in place, especially during summer travel. Well, all across our community, students are turning tassels and stepping into their next chapter. Here's a look at some of the faces and futures of the class of 2025. Nevaeh is graduating from the University of Texas at San Antonio. The message to her is so very proud of all you've accomplished. We love you so much. Birds up. Emerson is graduating tonight from Cuero High School. The message to her says, we are so very proud of all your accomplishments and can't wait to see what's in store for your next chapter. God's blessings. Gavin Chavez is also walking the stage tonight with the 2025 class at Calhoun High School. Ma says, our CHS Homecoming King and CHS Band King, you embody greatness with your outstanding academic achievements and your impressive involvement in extracurricular activities, from band to excelling in your studies. Your determination and versatility prove there is truly nothing you cannot achieve. I'm excited to see what incredible opportunities and successes await you in the future. Always remember, I love you forever and twice on Sunday. Submit a photo and heartfelt message for your grad through June 13th. We are featuring local grads on air and across our social media. It's our way of celebrating the class of 2025 right along with you. Go to crossroadstoday.com, click on the entertainment tab, then select contest to upload your tribute and share your pride.
Yeah, I like that one. And twice on Sunday, that was good. Well, folks, here it is. It's the weekend. Some of you already out there. Some of you just getting ready. It's 90 degrees right about now. It feels like 96. The wind picked up a little bit. And of course, the wind does help out with the heat. We managed to get up to 92. That's above our average temperature, pretty close to our record. How much rain will we get? Well, the good news is most of it is next week after the holidays. So don't get excited. We'll talk about it in a moment.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. Exciting free activities for families are in bloom. New leadership and innovation at Hospice of South Texas. Why hearing health is taking center stage this month. And serving those who served. A local effort making a difference for veterans.
And the people that have been served have been so grateful and so appreciative, and they've said it's well worth the effort and the time that it takes to sit down and go.
You know, when I say the word showers, I want you to say, yay, that's good. I don't want you to say, ooh, that's bad. You know, even though it's your holiday, we may have the rain, but the rain is going to be good. We certainly could use it. Last night, we had a big line of thunderstorms that arrived here in the morning hour. We'll talk about that in a second. Right now, you can see we do have some onshore activity. Now, this is what happens. The land heats up, right? The cool marine air comes in, and then it rises and it creates the little showers along the coast. Those are the sea breeze showers, and that is the kind of activity that we're going to see. So no severe anything like that. We'll talk about the line that came in last night. Actually, this line triggered way up in the hill country, even in West Texas, came through San Antonio, came all the way to Victoria, and just sort of fell apart, maybe probably in the Cuero area. You can see it once again. You can see it come through San Antonio right there, big stormy weather, and then fall apart. So we did get a little bit overnight, and that was good. But did it ruin your day? No, of course not, it didn't. So that was the good stuff that we had overnight. All right, let's take a look at your beach conditions. I got this for you. 88 degrees, the high temperature, the low tide, high tide. Very high on the UV index, 87 water temperature, rather tepid, and rip currents are fairly low right now. There's a 20% chance at the beaches, but it's a little bit higher inland. So it's not rain at the beach, it's rain in the inland areas when the sea breeze kicks in, and your surf is up to about 3 feet if you're obviously on the Gulf side. Now, here is the severe weather outlook for the state. Notice that tomorrow, being Saturday, we have a chance of getting some garden variety showers here. This is the very low green. The obvious heavier activity would be Oklahoma, out in far west Texas, so no major problems there. That's your Saturday, all right? So what about Sunday? Well, we still have a garden variety chance of getting something around the area because we're getting into a little looser, more humid environment that any kind of heating triggers off the activities. So we will continue that on Sunday and then on Monday as well. So I can't rule out a shower. I'm not saying it's going to ruin your day. I'm just saying that we should see something pop in the afternoon hours over the next couple of days. Next week gets more interesting because the activity that's in the mountains of northern Mexico is going to start drifting in our direction with a northwest wind to flow aloft. Now, here's the Atlantic. Nothing happening out there, but we have to start looking at it this time of the year. Down in the Pacific, off the coast of Mexico, there is a probable development here, but the good news, it would likely go out to sea. So let's take a look at your overnights, getting down to only 76. Your highs tomorrow, getting up definitely into the 90s. So wear a hat, get plenty of fluids, don't get sunburned, and have a great time, all right? Here's your day planner for Port Lavaca, getting up to 89. Partly cloudy in the afternoon, good sea breeze, that's going to help out. Cuero, you're getting up to about 94, so it's, yes, going to be on the hot and steamy side. 7-day forecast, 10% on Sunday, 30% on Monday, and then 30, 40% as we get into early next week. That's going to be very interesting. Let's hope that forecast keeps together. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone, and we'll toss it back to Shawna.
All right, thank you, Mac. Well, still to come, how President Trump's new tariff threats could impact the price of your next smartphone. Wall Street ended the week in the red. Both stocks and the dollar fell after President Donald Trump made threats of massive tariffs against Apple. The Dow closed lower by more than 250 points. The S&P 500 fell by more than 0.5%, and the Nasdaq also dropped 1%. Oil is up 53 cents to $61.74 per barrel. A new report shows millions of low-income Americans could lose their food stamp benefits. The Congressional Budget Office says it's tied to a tax and spending cuts package proposed by House Republicans. The plan includes big tax breaks, but to pay for them, it would slash funding for SNAP and Medicaid. That means some families might see smaller monthly food benefits or lose them entirely. The package is not yet final. It's likely to see changes in the Senate. House Republicans say the goal is to restore integrity to the programs, but right now, around 42 million Americans rely on that support. President Trump is turning up the pressure on the European Union and on tech giant Apple. He's threatening higher tariffs and urging Apple to bring its manufacturing from Asia back to the U.S. Meanwhile, his administration is in the thick of trade talks with the EU and other major partners. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest.
Halfway through its 90-day pause on tariffs, the Trump administration's negotiations have yet to bear much fruit as the president today takes a bite out of Apple. In a social media post, President Trump wrote the tech giant will have to pay a tariff of at least 25% if it doesn't move manufacturing from Asia to the U.S.
We're talking about the iPhone now, and, the iPhone, if they're going to sell it in America. I want it to be built in the United States.
Sources tell ABC News Apple CEO Tim Cook was at the White House this week, and Apple has pledged to invest $500 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years, expanding its factories and artificial intelligence footprint. But the consensus among industry experts is Apple cannot feasibly move its manufacturing operation from Asia to the U.S. Several consumers at the Apple flagship store in New York City against any tariffs on iPhones.
It's awful because they're pretty expensive as it is.
I think tariffs would never work, and I think this would be a tax on the consumer.
In a separate post, Trump today threatening the European Union with a 50% tariff, steeper than the initially announced 39% and imposed sooner, Trump says, on June 1st.
I'm not looking for a deal. I mean, we've set the deal. It's at 50%. But again, there is no tariff if they build their plant here.
I think the European Union cannot cave in and should not try to appease Donald Trump at this point. The experience of the last couple of months is that this US president actually blinks.
Trump says he's unhappy with the lack of progress in tariff talks with the EU. His Treasury Secretary today said he hopes the threatened tougher tariffs will, quote, light a fire under the EU. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
OpenAI and NVIDIA are teaming up with several tech giants to bring a major AI project to the United Arab Emirates. It's called Stargate UAE, part of a bigger push to build cutting-edge AI infrastructure around the world, including a similar project here in the U.S. Back in January, the CEOs of OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle announced plans for the original Stargate company. Now they are joining forces with Cisco and G42 to launch this new phase in Abu Dhabi. The first part of the project, a massive 200-megawatt AI cluster, is expected to go live in 2026. How a group of four-legged helpers is making a big impact in Kentucky's tornado recovery. That's coming up next.
Coming up, the deadly plane crash into a neighborhood, 6 people feared dead. What investigators just revealed about the airport. Also, severe storms threatening record Memorial Day travel and the major health scare for Billy Joel. Next.
In storm-hit Kentucky, help is arriving the old-fashioned way, on 4 legs. A team of mules from North Carolina is delivering supplies to remote mountain areas where vehicles can't reach. They're part of Mission Mules, a nonprofit known for bringing aid and smiles after disasters. With gear strapped to their backs, these sure-footed helpers are making a big impact in places that need it the most. Their mission? Simple. No one gets left behind. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, well, you know, are you aware that mules are better than horses?
Mm-hmm.
They're more sure-footed. They're less agitated.
They're stubborn.
And they're just workhorses.
Yeah.
I mean, the stallion's going to be running around showing off. These guys just getting it done.
And again, they can get into those areas where you can't drive a truck or some sort of vehicle to get the aid there.
That's a very and bring some smiles too.
Yes.
Well, folks, it's the weekend, and yes, it's your holiday. A lot of you are staying home. Some of you are going to be on the road. We are looking good for Saturday. No major problems. Sunday, 1 or 2 little pop-ups. The best chance will be on Monday, 30% of afternoon showers. I don't think all of you are going to get wet, so not to worry. Plan ahead, go forward. But if you see a little rain, just say, oh, how nice. The best part of this forecast is that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, we have what I call a loose atmosphere that's going to continuously every day give us additional showers. So that's good because we need the rain.
It'll feel like a sauna, but we need the rain.
Yeah. We'll be sauteed over the weekend.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes for 25 News Now at 6.